We're back here on Because, and I'd like to welcome Chief Lamkin to the Because set. Chief, welcome.
Thank you. Good morning.
Hey, you're new here to Schaumburg. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you're settling in the job.
Well, I've been here for about 2 months now, and I've learned my way around the police building. That was the first experience that I had to do, and then I've learned to find my way around most of the major streets and how to get where I need to go. And I've really enjoyed that for the most part. It's been good to have new surroundings and be able to bring my experiences with me. And I have about 38 years of law enforcement experience.
Okay,
I've
great.
Worked through the ranks. I've handled probably every different type of position that one could have in a suburban police department, and I bring that experience with me.
That's great. In those past experiences, what departments were you with before?
I actually started in law enforcement. I worked for a sheriff's department. I'm originally from Kane County, and I worked for Kane County Sheriff's Department for about 4 years. And then I spent a year in the village of Hampshire, which is where I grew up as a police officer. And then I went to the city of Elgin, and I spent 23 years in the city of Elgin, and I worked pretty much all the different positions that I could there. I left there as a deputy chief in charge of operations, and I took over the police chief's job in St. Charles, which is about 14 miles south of Elgin. And I spent the last 10 years as the chief of police in St. Charles, and then I've been here since the end of December.
Fantastic. In law enforcement, what made you choose that career path initially?
My path in law enforcement, really what drove me to do that is, and I still hear this from a lot of young people today, is I just wanted to help people.
Oh, that's great.
And I wanted to do something more, and I wanted to interact with people and, try to make a difference. And so I've been able to do that over the years. I still enjoy police work. I think it's one of the greatest professions in the world, and our police officers have a hard job trying to navigate all the things that we need to do, and so I try to bring that experience that I've had to a leadership position now.
You kind of alluded to my next question, is how does the police department, and specifically here in Schaumburg, focus on being a part of the community?
Well, I think the most visible component of government in a lot of municipalities is the police department, just because you see the police cars driving around each day. And I think, part of the job is certainly answering the calls that we get and going out and interacting with the public, but I think then beyond that is being available and getting to know the residential and the business part of the village is important so that people can relate to police officers and our responsibilities. And I think that the more that we can do that and get into neighborhoods, and we're divided into beats here, to get to know folks that live in the beats, to know their issues and try to address those.
Sure, that's great. And you're just talking about the police department, learning about the community, learning about the residents. And if we flip that, what's the best way for residents to find out a little bit more about the police department and learn about the police department?
Well, one of the things that actually we're in the process right now is I know we're supposed to start another Citizen Police Academy in the middle of March, and Citizen Police Academies have been one of the most outstanding ways for police departments nowadays to kind of share their experiences and their knowledge, get to see kind of the inner workings of things and why we do what we do and why we can't, and then certainly being a part of crime prevention bulletins and the things that we put out. I think that really assists us in being able to make that connection a little bit.
Yeah, the Citizens Police Academy, they had me out, I think it was last year about this time, just to talk a little bit about the Park District, but it was a very great group. It was a winter night, and there was probably 40 or 50 people in attendance, so it sounded like they have a pretty good contingent, regular contingent that meets on that item.
Yeah, and there's actually a very active Citizen Police Academy Alumni Association here. Those are folks that have been through the Academy, and that has probably been one of the Academy and the Alumni Associations are some of the most successful ways to really bridge the knowledge level of citizen to police and police to citizen.
Sure, it's almost like they become a little ambassador of the police department by going through your guys' training and your guys' process. They have a better understanding of it, and then they can kind of pass it on to the other residents in the community.
Well, I think when we started doing Citizen Police Academies years ago, as we found that there was, to some degree, people never knew exactly why we did what we did, or the understanding of the laws, or the training and the responsibility. And so it's really a way that we've opened our doors to the community and really let people learn about us.
Yeah, it sounds like a great program. And for 2014 and for your beginning of your career here in Schaumburg, any new initiatives that you guys are undertaking?
You know, probably the most significant thing that we're trying to do this year is maybe bolster our level of preparedness for crisis situations. And that includes making sure that our police officers are trained so that they know how to respond to this. I mean, the incidents that we have, you know, in the world today are pretty significant.
Sure.
And we need to make sure that our officers are prepared to do that. And on the other side of that, as I know we're trying to do more, offer more training in the community, to the business community, to be able to help the businesses themselves be better prepared so that if we have the unfortunate circumstances, something happens, that we're able to interact better. And in the end, I think safety is the ultimate goal. So those are some pretty important initiatives that we're trying to accomplish this year.
Right. I know you just had the Shooter One educational seminar recently, and a member of our staff attended it, and I know a couple other Schaumburg Business Association board members that attended it as well, and I heard great feedback from the job your staff did. And again, I think people really do appreciate, you know, the education on, you know, sometimes with crisis situations, people get a little afraid of the topic, but the more they can be educated on it, and then again, as you alluded to, be prepared from the resident side and the business side, they know what to expect. You guys help us know what to expect in those type of situations. I think that's a great initiative for next year.
I think the important thing to realize is that we need to embrace that those situations are going to happen. Mm-hmm. That kind of helps give focus to things,
sure.
And then people will be better prepared. And for example, in the last week, our police officers have been going a similar type of training on their response into places so that we can really help their knowledge level and their experience level and really invoke some thinking about what could happen with them, and so that
right.
they're better prepared in the event that they get called to assist something.
That's great. It's great from a resident perspective to hear the training that goes on and
Yep.
you know, the depth of the training. So on a lighter note, our initiative for the Park District this is take time for fun, and we talk to people and residents of the community how they, you know, get out and are active, whether it be in our parks and recreation facilities or elsewhere. Chief, how do you take time for fun in the course of your day, in the course of your weekends, and how do you like to get out?
Well, I think that I'm probably more of a warm weather person than a cold weather
Okay.
person, but I have a fiance who keeps me very busy, Kathy, and then I have three kids of my own. My oldest is married, and I have a granddaughter who will be a year old in March. Thank you. And then my son lives and works in Chicago. My youngest is in high school, so my family's probably taken on most of the important things that
Sure.
I have, but. You know, beyond that, I enjoy gardening. I enjoy playing golf when I can. I ride a motorcycle. I enjoy that. And I think that the other thing that I really, when I have time to do it, I like to cook.
Oh,
so
fantastic.
Those are all the things that are kind of the release for me.
Great choices. A little indoor with the cooking,
Yes.
out there with the golf and motorcycle. That's fantastic. Well, Chief, we really appreciate you coming in and telling us a little about yourself, a little bit about the police department. We look forward to a great career here for you in Schaumburg, and whenever you get a chance, stop by.
Great. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. We'll be right back after these messages.